All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's what we got. So it's what is it? It's Saturday. I know you guys didn't expect me to go live, but I'm taking a break from I was doing a bunch of work this morning. I got more work I was doing. So this is my break time. So we'll see how this goes. Now, usually things happen in threes. So the Rangers got rid of Truba. They signed Igor. So then when I'm waiting for the move for them to get Ekblad, I'm waiting for that announcement. Usually those things happen in threes. They cleared space, obviously, for Ekblad. So I don't understand what's taking so long. Hey, Metal Taylor, how you doing? Going to be at the game later, Metal? It should be a good game. It should be a good game. The Sharks, I'm sure the Sharks are good and pissed off after what Tampa did to them. So that's always nice. And hey, Yo Bex. And, Panthers, this is the last home game, really the only home game because we had the two road trips, two road games, and we got this one game. And then we go out on the road for freaking forever until I think our first home game back is the 18th, or is that the 20th? No, it's the 20th. Yeah. So it's basically we won't be at home for close to 2 weeks. So, and then we've got a quick 3 games in 4 days. We come back home after this road trip. We play the 20th. We play the Lightning the 22nd and the 23rd. So, yeah, Taylor, we got a bunch of late games coming up. That's okay. We should be good to go. They're every other day. So we should be good to go. We should be good. I hate putting the recap out so late. What's funny though is if you guys ever catch the subtitles in the recap and there's misspellings, literally twice I have fallen asleep while typing out the subtitles this year. This year I have fallen asleep twice while editing the recap. And so I remember one recap, I think I had misspelled something in all 3 subtitles. Metal says it's going to be either a 2-1 grinder or 7-6 with these teams' defenses, right? Well, Bob is back, so it's at least going to be 4, right? Craig says Rangers looking at Brady. I mean, that would not, yeah, I agree with Hungry. That would not be good. That would not be fantastic at all. That would be a help for them, no doubt about it. Lechko says, if our defense is bad, wouldn't it be bad every night? How do I interpret the inconsistency? The difference in the forwards, the effort group of the forwards. I think the defense has kind of been, it's the same kind of things that are repeating themselves, but we've seen this before with Maurice's system. If the forwards are not back checking and forechecking with the intensity that we need, this is what happens. So, we still need a defenseman. But, like I said the other night, the one goal that we gave up against Pittsburgh, where was it Pittsburgh? I think it was Pittsburgh, or it might have been one of the ones against Philadelphia, where the fourth line goes on a fast break and then the puck comes all the way back down the ice. So it's just a little bit of scatterbrain, lack of mental focus. Taylor says, yeah, it's just that intermission between second and third that always gets you. Yeah. A couple of times I'll fall asleep during the intermission too, because sometimes I'll go upstairs and on the bed for 5 minutes while Kyle's running the stream, and a couple of times she's had to yell, Dad, the game's back on. I did that a bunch last year, but Karen was upstairs. So I would walk past Karen and I would say, give me 8 minutes. And then usually I'd be awake, but a couple of times she had to wake me up. Silva, Mackey just played his first game in the AHL. I thought he wasn't supposed to play. I thought they weren't. Oh, okay. Never mind. But it looks like Mackey did not get his job back on the first power play. Figured. I'm happy for Hagee scored. Hopefully Mackey keeps his role, and gets to stay in the second power play. But I think we kind of knew that once Verhaeghe started scoring again, he even got. I mean, even though the goal got called back, Verhaeghe even scored a goal at the side of the net, like Samoskevich did. So I'm not real surprised about that. Hopefully, he gets more time up there because that's a nice option to have. If you know, not everybody stays healthy all the time. You know what I mean? It's nice to have a kid that you can trust to go up there and do well. Greg says, "Yep, total team needs to play defense in this system." Yep, we saw it. You know, the beginning of Maurice's first season, right? Until the forwards figured out what their role was, and they really had to do it. Hungry says, "I wish the Sabres were doing worse. If they were, maybe Zito could fleece them for Darling." Let's just, how much worse can they do? They blew a 4-0 lead the other night. Oh, for the Sabres, right? Yeah, where are they? They were in a playoff spot for 5 minutes. I remember. This is not what I want. Hold on. What went on last night? Rangers played, right? I can't believe Anaheim. Like, what are they doing? Right? Yeah, the Rangers won their game last night. Sabres have 25 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, the Sabres are now 3 points out. So yeah, they're not doing poorly enough for them to completely sell just yet. They're kind of just middling along right there. But they lost 5 in a row. If they lose another 4 or 5 in a row, then they'll be done. Silva says, honestly, I think Maurice should keep the lines the exact same way until we lose. When we do, I'd like to see Erod on the 4th and Mackey on the 3rd. Well, I assume that, I mean, I'm okay with the change. I would assume that Samoskevich will get on the 4th line and Gadjevich will be out. That would be my assumption. I haven't seen the lines on Twitter or anything like that. Sean says, afternoon. Did I miss something? Did the Rangers actually want Ekblad, or is it just conjecture? It's more like wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. I mean, they cleared the cap space for him. I mean, I'm sure that they would rather have Ekblad than Brady Tkachuk. I don't know why they would want Brady. Really, it should be Ekblad to the Rangers and then Brady to the Panthers. Although that still leaves us needing a defenseman. But we'll just outscore everybody. Trey says, Ducks are developing their core and have cap space. They can kind of do whatever they want right now. Well, and Trouba's only got the 1 more year on the deal, right? So they could probably maybe get assets for him at the trade deadline next year, you would think. Although it's still a no-move clause, right? He waived it to go there, but he would still have it. So I just don't understand what. Like, they traded the Rangers, apparently. I was watching Rangers Central, and they were pretty happy with the defenseman that they got in return. The fact that they got a player and a pick with no salary retained is just like, I don't, blows my mind. So it says it's the intangible for Trouba, Josh. You need someone like him to mentor the kids on that team. Hungry says Anaheim's new defensive slogan is "They can't beat us. They are if they are dead." I like that. Right? Well, Lechka says Rangers barely won, to be honest, and Shesty let in another softie. But he got paid, right? He got paid. Craig says SoCal is a good fit for a new doctor, so Trouba's wife will be happy there, right? Daily Faceoff says Mackey's on the 4th. That pretty much, right? Yeah, plus warm weather and amusement parks. Trey says that's the other thing they can do. They can retain salary and flip Trouba to a contender for something. That's a good point. Trey says, I think once you waive your no move clause, it's gone, but there's a chance I'm wrong about that. Would be interesting. Huh. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Like once he waives it, that's a really good question. I don't even think Google would have the straight answer to that. That's a really good question. Huh. Because especially, I mean, hell. Silva says it was a no trade, not a no move. Gotcha. Yeah, Trouba to the Knights, right? I mean, I watched a little bit of Rangers Central, and they all seemed pretty happy that Trouba was going bye-bye. I don't know the ins and outs of that situation, but everybody was pretty tickled pink that Trouba was going bye-bye. So I don't know if his play has just been that bad, or it's hard. It's rare to see guys be that happy that the captain's gone, right? Like, when was the last time? The last time we were that happy a guy left, I think, was Yandel. Sean says, I'm excited for the game tonight. I haven't seen Celebrini yet. Yeah, it should be a good game. Hopefully the kid don't get any goals against us. Someone says the difference between those is they can waive people with no trade clauses. Okay, I got you. That makes sense. No move. That makes sense. Sean says, I thought it was weird that Kreider was also mentioned to be going. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something, right? But now that they've got Trouba off the books, they'll have money now or next year, either way that they want to use it. So that kind of dings us a little bit because, in the sense that if they want to get a defenseman for the playoff run, they got way more. They got more juice than we can squeeze. Trey says it was a combination of things. Trouba slowed down. He was making a lot of money, and fans wanted Vinny to get the seat. Oh, is Trocheck causing captain trouble again? That's why he left here, or that's why he was removed. That was part of the reason. He was pissy that he didn't get the C and that Barkov did. Hey, Cruise Control. He says, hi, Jaws. Feel good about this team. Need more trade deadline pickups. We definitely do. Vincent says, are we getting Gudis now? No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, there's going to be a 3-way deal, I think. Somehow the Rangers will get Ekblad, the Leafs will get Kreider, and we'll get OEL. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to work in my dreams. Sean says, weird, the Rangers seem to be retooling when they were the best team, or so they say. They want to win. They obviously, as we've seen, Sean, when a team thinks they can win, they get desperate, like we did with the President's Trophy season, and we just started throwing first-round picks and prospects around like it was candy. Lechka says, honestly, they're really bad vibes to that Ranger team. Anybody that fires Gerard Gallant's got bad vibes. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. One wild and crazy guy says, just tuned in. The Sharks, which are a bad team, have a few good defensemen. Maybe we can get one of them. Yeah, just leave them. Just leave them here. Just leave them here. I don't know. The Sharks, though, they're kind of willing to take their lumps to build. You know what I mean? Trey says this time it's people getting pissy on his behalf. So here we go. Silva says, bad news and good news, Jaws. We've traded Samuskevich and Ekblad to the Senators for future considerations. Good news. the future considerations are rumored to be Matthews. You mean Kachuk? Samoskevich and Ekblad to Ottawa for Kachuk. Would I do that? Damn. I'd hate to lose Samoskevich, but Samoskevich and Ekblad for Brady Kachuk. Would we do that? I appreciate that, wild and crazy guy. Would we do that? Nope, you mean Matthews? Well, how are we going to get Matthews from Ottawa? This I gotta see. Meadow says hell no. So Samoskevich and Ekblad for Kachuk, no. Vincent says it just shows if Zito won't bite the bullet and ship away Ekblad, this year is going to be a waste. Other teams are prepared to weaponize. Is not a joke. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got two experiences, though, right? He's got the experience of swinging for the home run and missing in the President's Trophy year. And then last year, where we just added very, very, just the right exact parts and won a cup. And I don't even think we really need a forward, right? I mean, maybe one guy past Gadjevich to be an off the bench type of guy. I mean, we've got Dalpe, so we've kind of got duplicates there. We just don't have the ammunition to swing for the fences. That's the problem, really. But yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, Vince, about trading away Ekblad. But with the locker room, man, I just don't know if you could do that. Like we don't. Like, I'm sure the players feel a lot differently about Ekblad than we do. You know what I mean? And there's just nobody to put with him. There's nobody to put with him. I suppose, if you wanted to move Mikula, Forsling, Schmidt, who, right? Kulikov, who? It gets dicey. Silva says Call of Duty got a wee bit drunk last night and called on some contacts in Toronto because he thought it'd be really funny. Olechka says, I don't want even a single leaf on my team. I'll only accept former Panthers. I agree. Silva says, I'm also pretty sure the Leafs got Bedard from the trade, but I'm not sure how. Sean says the perfect three-way deal: Ekblad to the Oilers, Bedard to the Oilers, and we make. Yeah, I don't think they'll be making that deal anytime soon. Chicago's getting a new arena. Well, that's good for them. The place they've been playing has got to be pretty old, right? Lechka says don't want Whitey McDavid either. No, we're good on forwards. We're good. Although, can you imagine this team would? I guess if we did get Bedard, we just wouldn't need any more defensemen because every game we'd score 10 goals, right? Like Bedard is struggling a little bit, but can you imagine Bedard with Barkov and Reinhart? Right? You'd have to move Verhaeghe down. Barkov, Reinhart, Bedard, Bennett, Kachuk, Verhaeghe, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Nosek with Boquist and Rodriguez. Vincent says, what am I saying exactly? With Ekblad, we exit in the second round. You want to re-sign him for even $1? No, it's better to be done sooner than later. It should have been done last summer. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, Vincent. But okay, so let's say we did it. Now what? Right? Because we don't. What are we going to trade? You got to replace Ekblad, and you got to get a partner for Mikula. Hey, Select. Let's go. Why are we talking about our offense when our current offense is crazy good? Just make the offense better. Just make it so that when the defense allows 5 goals a night, we just score 7. That's what I mean, Vincent, though, is like, okay, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but we already have at least one hole, if not kind of two holes on defense. So if you move Ekblad, it's like we're going to get three new defensemen. How are we going to do that? Well, that's because they weren't working the playoffs. I know. So it says Ekblad, Sordiv, Dalpe, Knight, and Luosterainen for Makar and Gorgiev. Why would what? I don't want Gorgiev. That's too much. That still has us needing a second pair of defensemen for Mikkola. Hey, Adonis. Last week in finals, we're doing good. Today is good. It's not so cold today. It warmed up to 40 degrees. Warmed up to 40 degrees. Alechka. Definitely. Although Alechka, you have to admit, the Panthers do have a habit of taking goalies that weren't good elsewhere and turning them good, right? But still, that's a little bit much to give up. That's still a little bit much to give up. But if anybody could fix them, we could. Select says better if Ekblad sticks around with the Cats. Well, I think we're going to find that out, right? You notice how you have not heard, like we've heard about the rumors of Bennett's numbers and extension. We haven't heard any rumors about Ekblad, right? Have not heard any rumors about an Ekblad extension. So, I don't know, man. And like I said yesterday, it's a shame that Trouba wasn't the answer. Not that the Rangers would have sent him our way, or maybe they would have. I don't know. But Vincent said I'd trade Knight for Forsberg tomorrow. We still need a goalie then, but yeah. Yeah. It's so hard. It's like when you got married. It's like you've been married for so long and you don't want to, like you've got all that investment in it and you want to make it work. It's how I kind of feel with Spencer Knight. It's like we've invested so much in him and we've already lost players because of him. So unless we were going to get back, who else does the Kraken have? Who's the backup goalie for the Kraken? Vincent says, yeah, that's a goalie, Forsberg. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, are you saying he'd be the guy that would take over for Bob? So you just thought, what's his cap hit? Olechka says, Ekblad seems like a great person. He has me blocked on Twitter, Olechka. How great can he be? He has me blocked on Twitter. Oh, Grubauer, that's right. Yeah, no, thanks. No, thanks. Hungry says, I used to feel that way about Markstrom back in the day, but look at how that worked out. Right? Yeah, I get it. But now somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, over the summer, things kind of went in one ear and out the other with Fluffy and everything. Did I see? I seem to remember there being like a couple of minor Twitter reports that Zito had kind of made it obvious to other teams that Ekblad was available. Vincent says not take over. He's a backup 32 in the next 5 years. You think you kind of agree with me that Bob's going to stick around for a while? Olechka, yes, but in a good way. So over the course of one of the years, I would keep telling him he wasn't playing all that well. And I kept telling everybody he needed to stop worrying about the hair and the beard and needed to get back into the gym and start working hard over the summer. I said that during the regular season. Then, about a week before the following season started, Ekblad did an interview, and it was posted on Twitter. And in the interview, he literally said, I had to stop like kind of partying and hanging out with my friends and get back to a more serious approach to the hockey over the summer. So I retweeted it and I said, see, I told you all he needed to get himself back into the gym. And he blocked me for that. He literally blocked me for agreeing with him. He blocked me for agreeing with him. Yeah, I know Silva, right. Yeah, it's so sort of right. He's not going to do right. You got vlogs. So all the years I always thought we traded our goalies, and then it worked out. Thought it might be the chat jumped on me. He says, so all the years I always thought we traded our goalies. Then they worked out. How we thought it might be a goalie coach is the problem and not adapting to their play styles. But they've come here and gotten fixed though, vlog. Like Drieger was nobody before he came here. Stolarz had massive rebound control issues before he came here. The Markstrom thing, remember, we let go of Markstrom to get Luongo back. So that was a win for us, for sure. Most of the goalies that have come here that have already had a history before, their play has improved with us. Greg says Ekblad kind of deserves to retire a cat. Yeah, if he wants to take 5 years at $3 million, Ekblad, that's what you can do. And then we'll give him, if he takes 5 years at $3 million, we'll give you a 1% ownership stake in the club when you retire. You and Barkov can each get 1%. Olechka says, wow, so sensitive. Yeah, I thought, and then actually, yeah, well, yeah. So he's blocked me. He's very sensitive. So, but he's not even on Twitter hardly anymore anyway. So it's not like I'm missing anything. Hungry says, realistically speaking, what could we get for Ekblad, especially since we're short on picks? Well, I would say Trouba just sent that market. Right? Except for the fact that Trouba still got one more year. So that might be worth a little bit more. I mean, they got a fourth and a young defenseman. At this point, Ekblad would just be a rental for a contender. Remember, he's got a no trade clause or a no move clause as well. I think it's a modified no move clause, I think. So in order to trade Ekblad at this point, there has to be a team that thinks that they can contend and that Ekblad's going to help. Who is that? Right? Vincent says we need cap space. That's what we get. Right. Jessica chucking around says Bennett, Luosterainen, Rodriguez, and Eki. You can only keep 2. Are you saying that as a hypothetical, or are you saying you think that's the situation we're in? Because if you're saying is it a hypothetical, I keep Bennett and Rodriguez. Trey says E2. I kind of like Rodriguez. Rodriguez's production is more than Luosterainen. I hate to say it. It's a tough call. I know we want E2 for Lundell, but every time a line needs a shot in the arm, you put Rodriguez out there on that line. Lechka says Rodriguez is replaceable. Greg says E2 and Roddy. Interesting. I get what you're saying, but we don't. I mean, that we're not in that. I see. Kachukin says need to get some D for those guys we have proven. I see what you're saying. Right. Vincent says Bennett to keep, Ekblad to trade, E2 and Erod going to be decided after St. Martin arrives. That makes sense. Luosterainen, I love Luosterainen, but I wish he would just give us a little bit more offensive upside. Yeah, Alechka's correct. Right. Trey's saying that was before Samoskevich, right? So it says E2 has built the chemistry with Reinhardt and Lundell. I agree. Alexis says Bennett is why we are successful because of the center depth. Yep, 100%. I mean, I love Lundell, but the fact that Lundell is on that third line, we talked about it last year. So I don't see us moving forward. I think we're going to need all the forwards we can get if the defense stays the way it is. But if Schmidt can continue to get better, if Schmidt can continue to get better, I'm sure that there is some legitimate top four defenseman out there that we haven't even thought of that Zito's got his eye on, and we'll wake up one morning and we gave up a third for him and he plugs right in next to Mikkola and we're good to go. I don't know who the dude's going to be, but I just have to assume, and I would assume it's going to happen sooner than later because you want them to be able to build some chemistry. The fact that Maurice is just flipping Mikkola's partner 2-3 times a night, he's got to be having talks with Zito and saying, we need a guy, man. Lechka says Viola called Bennett the soul of the Panthers. He ain't going anywhere. Agreed. Kachuk says we should not be leading the league in goals. We got to sort out the defense. We do. Trey says Bennett will retire here as 4C. He's going to extend eventually. Lundell will jump him, and down the road it'll be old man Bennett being a menace at 4. That's actually a really good point, Trey. That's actually a really good point. I want Bennett to adopt me. Craig says we should have kept Lorenz. He's better than Nosek. Lorenz and Okposo helped, especially Lorenz. Now, let's not forget, though, Lorenz had sat for so long that by the time he got into the lineup in the playoffs, he had fresh legs. But he did help, no doubt. Yeah, Bennett at 4C will be insane. But that's actually a good point, Trey. I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're right. Silva says our center should be Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, E2. Nosek should play wing. Gadget should stay off the ice. Third line right wing should be Samaskevich's spot. And third line left wing should be the rookie spot. Trey says, ever see Logan Bennett at 4L would be like that? Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, Jessica chucking around says 90 goals against so far. We had 200 total last year. And we lost a lot. I mean, OEL, Montour, Stolars, Stenlin, Lomberg, Cousins, Lorenz. And if you count the guys that were here for the cup run, Okposo and Tarasenko, it's quite literally half a team. It's half a team. Vincent says Stenlin and a fourth for Ekblad. Hell yeah. You got Vlog says, I wish Dalpe was in the fourth line. I liked how he looked. Yeah, he's a good break-in case of emergency guy, for sure. I don't know that they want to go into the playoffs with him, but I think he's a good break-in case of emergency guy. What's so terrible about Stenlin and a fourth for Ekblad? Well, we clear out the space, right? We clear out. I liked it. I liked the idea. Oh my God, Knight Ekblad in a second for John Gibson's brutal 6.4. Lechka says also, you don't need to worry about Brady going to New York. He wants to win. He's not stupid. Oh, man. How does Ottawa, how are they still bad? Like they were close last year. They went and paid Olmark and somehow got worse. It's a shame. Going to need the cap space either way at the deadline. And that's the other thing, right? We got 1.6 cap space at the deadline. Yeah, how is Nashville? But that's a good point. Silva says, we're just talking about how we need defensemen. That leaves 2 holes in our D. Our top pair would be Mikkola, Forsling. Then who? No, the second pair would be well, yeah. I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. But we could trade the fourth for a guy. It doesn't clear. Well, the thing is that it does clear the space. I mean, I guess the only way you trade Ekblad is if you already have 2 deals in place to replace him and the dude to fit with Mikkola, right? God is mad at Nashville for some reason. Well, look, you don't need to ask why Nashville's bad. All you have to do is go watch my season preview. I picked Nashville to be our opponent in the Stanley Cup final. That is why Nashville is bad. It just is what it is. Adonis. Yeah. No, I mean, I suppose if he did what Matthew did and finally got sick of losing and said, I want to go, they might do it. Trey says, what's YouTube's rule about smoking on camera? I know Joe Rogan and Elon Musk can do it. I've seen people vape on camera. I've never seen somebody smoke a cigarette on camera. I know I've seen people drink on camera. I know I've seen people vape on camera. I don't know if I've never seen anybody. I've seen people smoke a cigar, but I don't know if I've seen anybody smoke from a pipe. Don't know. Greg says, let's just run four forwards and 1 defenseman. That could work. Well, Barkov's a defenseman anyway, right? We'll just wear him out. Vincent says it's just the Bruno effect. He's out of his element again. The team has too many stars. So it says, love Stenlin, but Nosek is serviceable in his spot, and we can replace Nosek from within. Next year, Giles, Sordiff, both could seriously contend for the 4th line center position. But we need help. We want to win the cup. Screw next year. I kind of like the idea. Because then now you know you have a cup winning worthy 4C. And now you have the cap space to go get 2 defensemen. 1 to pair with Forsling. No, you just go Forsling, Mikkola, and you pick up an entire. Which team is so bad that they'll trade us their entire second pair? Stenlin and a 4th for Ekblad. Stenlin's at 4C. Nosek goes to the bench. Now, you put Mikkola with Forsling. We need an entire second pair, and we just do 1 trade with the team to just trade us their entire second pair. So it says Stenlin is also $4 million per year. Stenlin got $4 million per year. Okay, Stenlin's at $2 million. That's a little bit more reasonable. I'm like, I know I slept through July, but I didn't think he got $4 million. No, $2 million. Yeah. So that frees up 5.5 or 5. Yeah, 5.5. Scientist says Barkov has been holding in pucks on the blue line more than any of our defensemen. Yeah. Trey is correct. Yeah, OEL got 4. Right. It's okay, Silva. Meadow says we got Nosa partially for face-off. His face-off percentage is 47.6. Stenlin's is over 58. I like the idea. You put Mikkola with Forsling, but we needed just an entirely new second pair. That way they don't have to build chemistry. You You just remove them from one team and transplant them on our teams. It's a $4 million 2-year. I see. Trey says Nosek has played like 10 games. I mean, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's just not Stenlin, right? God, it sucks that we couldn't even keep Stenlin at $2 million. That's $1 freaking million. Like he was getting paid like 1.1. It sucks that we lost guys like that for just. That's my point about Spencer Knight. It's like the number of guys. Like if we had not kept Spencer Knight and just gotten in another backup for $2 million, we could have kept Stenlin. We could have kept Lorentz, or maybe Stenlin and Lomberg. Stenlin, Lorentz, and Lomberg. We have sacrificed a lot for that contract that Knight has. Oleshka says, listen, like Josh says, the dumpster diving will be what it is at some point. Yeah, at some point. I trust Zito. To come up with something. You know? That's all we can say. Silver says Nosek is currently being paid league minimum. That's a $1.25. Yeah, 1 point. Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if we would have had a $2 million backup goalie instead of Spencer Knight, that's $2.5 million. So we could have paid Stenlin, could have paid Lorentz, could have paid Lomberg with all that money. Like the whole fourth line, we could have paid with that money. Hey, Rosado, no sick for Chari. Now, don't get yourself banned, Rosado. Sam Iskevich ain't going anywhere. Right? That's okay. Silva says that we got Stenlin back, though. Greer, Stenlin, Sam Iskevich. Yeah. Yeah. Craig says Maurice and Zito run around looking like Sanford and Son, right? You got Vlog says, why don't they get Bornfoot again? He wasn't bad and had a decent shot, third pair. Kachucking around says Schmidt and Boquist is also Zito dumpster diving this year. Just didn't pay off. You got Vlog. I haven't seen Bornfoot play enough to know, but there must be something not there because, I mean, he was a first round pick and got waived. And then he came in here and we have a clear need. And not only is he in the AHL, but I don't even know if he's playing every night in the AHL. So there must be something that's just not connecting with that kid. Silva. No, I think, Nosek, Stenlin, Samo. I mean, it's a pipe dream. Maybe Nosek, Stenlin, Sam Iskevich, because then if Stenlin gets tossed in the circle, you'd put Nosek in. But you need one tough guy out there. So maybe Greer, right? Silva says at that point, I think Sam Iskevich would be the man off the ice because he gets swapped out for Gadjo and not Gadjo for Greer. You think it'd be Greer, Stenlin, Nosek? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think you'd take Sam Iskevich off the ice. Paul values life too much. I know he watches the show. Paul, don't even think about it. But we haven't gotten Stenlin back, so. Vincent says Sam Iskevich must land in the top 9 by April. I hope so. As long as he continues to play this way. It's a good problem to have, though, right? You know, I mean, Jesper Boquist, it's a good problem to have. No doubt. At some point, somebody's going to get injured, and one of those kids is going to be in the top 6, and the depth is going to pay off dividends for sure. Jessica chucking around says Yandel's making more than Kulikov this year. That's true. That's true. Kulikov, Game 7 Stanley Cup Final hero. Yeah. But then again, look, Branson got 4x4, right? So there's that. You know, when you look at it that way, salaries are not always, it's not always copacetic. I think that's the word. Lesko wants to know if we're going to see Rat Chucky tonight. I hope so. Peak Entertainment. I think so. Now, hopefully he doesn't, who was it that hit Bedard? Remember we played Chicago. Who was it that hit Bedard last year? Am I remembering that correctly? Jessica chucking around is a weird Lundy has no trade protection. Huh. Hadn't thought of that, but you're right. Well, I think he's so young. Craig, it was you think it was Kulikov? I hadn't thought about that with Lundell and the trade protection, but I guess maybe they think he's young enough to where this is just that he still has another big deal coming, right? I hadn't thought of that. Now, some of you think it was Kulikov, and Donna says it was Kachuk cross-checking him. That might have been, but Cooley hit him. Okay. Yeah, rubbed him into the boards, right? I think that's what I was getting ready to say was just Chucky don't need to hurt the kid. You know what I mean? Don't hurt the kid. That's Nick's team. Trista the Rister. Celebrini's already had his welcome to the NHL moments. Don't need to hurt him. Vincent says, when I first found out Yandel's contract was, my God, I mean, all the Europeans who come to the NHL are at least good. Yeah, that was a bad deal. Talon just got wacky at the end. Well, no, that was Rowe, though, right? Yandel was Tom Rowe. That whole mess. Everything gets conflated between who did what. And then freaking Talon comes back in and sends Krause for Bolin to get out of Bolin's contract instead of just buying him out. What a mess that whole situation was. Yeah, I agree with you to a point, Rosado. Chucky's looked good. Ekblad looked good for a few games, but the last game was a little squeaky. Kachucking around says Lundy has a long friendly deal and has crazy trade value. Not saying we should move him, but a team would pay a lot for Lundell. That's true. No, I would never want to trade him. Silva says, is this recent hot streak indicative of Chuck finding his game or just a hot streak? He got tired of me calling him Chicken Chuck. Again, it's proof that they watched the video. He got tired of me calling him Chicken Chuck. I told him, I gave him back his Chucky name a couple games ago. As long as he keeps playing like this, no Chicken Chuck. Meadow says, how would I assign the goalies for this game in the Western Conference trip? That's a good question. Let me look at that. Obviously, we got Bob today. I mean, it's every other night. So I would go, well, now we play the Oilers. You know Bob's going to go against the Oilers. So, I mean, Sharks, Kraken, Canucks, 3 for Bob. And then you play night against the Flames. And then you play Bob, Oilers, and Wild. And then you come home. That's what I would do. I think that's what they'll do. Lechka says, what? What's his name? Stefaf? I can't read it. Slavkovsky signed a 7.6 average deal with the Habs. Look at his stats and then look at Mackey's. The Habs organization summed up in the last 30 years. Let me see. What's the kid's name? Hold on a second. I want to look this up. That's a hell of a name, though. I can't even think about pronouncing his name. So he signed a 7.6 average deal. He's 6'3", 225. He's only 20 years old. I mean, he had 20 goals last year. I mean, Lundell had 18 in his first season. He's on pace now for maybe 12 goals. And they gave him 7.6. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jessica chucking around says, remember when Tarasenko broke Ekblad and we lost 7 straight, right? Yeah. Rosado says, yeah, I see that, Rosado. I appreciate that. No, I've been putting videos back out over there. I needed a break after everything that happened with the dogs and the girlfriend. I kind of needed to slow down a little bit, but now I'm back over there. Trey says Mackey's on pace for less than 40 points at 22 years old. He might get 20 goals, though. He's going to get 15. Of course, now if he's off the top power play unit, I think 20 is a pipe dream. Well, he might get to 15. Slav was a number 1 overall pick. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's still such a heavy salary, though. But I guess if he's going to be that good, jeez. I mean, he doesn't have much going on. He's got 10 points this year in 40. Wait a minute. No, that's last year. No, I get it now. Wait a minute. These stats can't be right. Yeah, okay. I was looking at it backwards. So he had 20 goals last year. He had 50 points last year. Right now, he's got 2 goals in 23 games. So that's not even on pace for like 10 goals. Huh. Samuel for Slavovsky. No, we're good. Yeah, Mackey has 3 game winners, right? He won't be a Lundell type player. He's just wimpy. Lundell was 12th overall. Best point season was 44, and he got $5 million. Right. Silva, I don't know who said it, but Kyle told me that Mackey was back yesterday. So I don't know if you saw that on Twitter or whatnot. Hey, Hamburger Hut. Thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, John. Wants to know if I've ever driven a Corvette. I've driven in a Corvette. I've never been the driver of the Corvette. But there was, when I went to high school, the kids were rich. Not on my side of I-95, but the other side of I-95. The kids were rich. And one of the kids, I forget his name, he got a Corvette for his 16th birthday. And I went to a Halloween party with him. And on Ives Dairy Road, it's not there anymore, but on Ives Dairy Road at 441 on the northeast corner, there's a shopping plaza that used to be a Kmart. And it was pouring rain that night, and we were doing skidding donuts in the parking lot. Well, he was doing skidding donuts in the parking lot, and I was holding on for dear life. And that was my ride in a Corvette. Ferrari, no, never. I've been in a Camaro, I've been in a Corvette, not been in a Ferrari. No, I think everybody else is okay. True. How you doing, Nick? Lechko says Lundell is good, great. Even he plays his position. He plays his role perfectly. Whatever the role is that we give him, when we need him to be Barkov, he becomes Barkov. You know. So, but I don't think he can be Bennett. That he can't be Sam Bennett. That's the only downside. He can fill in for Barkov, but he can't fill in for Bennett. We don't have anybody that can fill in for Bennett at all. Like at all. At all. No, I've not been in a Lamborghini either, Rosado. Rosado says Lucic is the favorite player. Just love how he plays his role. Yep. I wish we could get a little bit more offense out of him. Kachukin says Bennett has crazy speed through the neutral zone. Lechko says he's a gem. 2 2s, right? That's what we gave up for him. I remember the day it happened. And there was a lot of people on Twitter that were like, 2 2s? Are we sure this guy is going to be worth 2 2s? Oh, man. The fact that he's, he continues to get better. That's the thing. Or either that or he's playing for his contract right now. But either way, that's a good thing, right? Sorry about that, True. I don't know what to tell you. All right, here comes Silva. Guys, hear me out. Kachuk, Bennett, Samoskevich. Well, the problem is, so then Barkov, Reinhardt, Verhaeghe, Kachuk, Bennett, Samoskevich. And then Lundell, Lucic, Boquist, or Rodriguez, right? Rodriguez. That may eventually happen anyway, Silva. That may eventually happen. Right? Yeah, Lechko says, true, maybe you went deaf. Yeah, E2 Rolando Rodriguez, right. Remember when he didn't knock out Marchand and now they're going to play in the same team? That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that Four Nations. I just hope it's not overly physical. Like, I don't want anybody getting hurt. Nobody wants anybody from their team getting hurt, obviously. But it would just be such a silly thing for somebody to get hurt. And it's going to happen. I mean, you can't, unless they're going to play it like at all-star speed level. Like, how much effort are those guys going to actually put into it? Right? Trey. Oh my God. Hey, it is what it is, right? True says now I'm blind and deaf. Damn, sorry, True. Are you on your phone? Of course you can't hear me. So I'm talking to you. You can't hear me. So it is what it is. Yeah, he skated into Bennett's fist. I don't see what the problem is. So, all right, that's gonna do it for today. I gotta go eat. I did not eat before the stream. Usually I do. I need to eat now. I'm getting a little bit woozy. So it is just Kyle. Excuse me. It is just me tonight. Kyle has exited the premises. So it will be me with a bunch of hookers and cocaine. That's what we got coming tonight. And I'll be at 6. The game starts at 6. I will have the stream starting at 6. I should have had Kyle. Hopefully it's logged. Hopefully ESPN Plus is logged in, right? So Vince says seems like a silly tournament. Yeah. I mean, just hopefully nobody gets hurt. Just hopefully nobody gets hurt. That's all I can say. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, Miami Vice stream. Exactly, Hungry. Exactly. All right. I'll see y'all in 5 hours.